was a kid, I was always outdoors, always loved doing outdoor things, and as I got older, went to college, did all the normal stuff, got into a corporate job. I grew up in Michigan. Growing up in Michigan, you have very cold winters, so you have a period of time where you're not going outdoors. And if you are, you're in a lot of bundles of clothes. Shortly before I moved down here, I had gotten into collecting plants, and then I went to a retreat where we kind of considered in meditation our connection with nature. And through that journey, I had an epiphany where I realized that our connection with earth and with nature and all living things is like the centerpiece of like our existence as humans, where we all connect at a certain point and become one. And that's where like the love, like between animals and nature. And so that started to kind of create my journey. I moved down here to Florida about 5 years ago. The first job I was offered was a job selling cars. Would not recommend it, it's not for everybody. Working at the dealership every day, I was unhappy to go there, I was miserable. I was starting to feel that in my emotions and my physical body. During COVID, that kind of allowed me a space to reconsider what my future could be. And I knew that I was very passionate about plants and had really began collecting even more plants. I met somebody who is now my fiance, and she also collected plants, so that very quickly increased the collector phase. As that took off, I went to do an interview a couple miles from here, and on my way back I saw this large nursery and had said, "Hey Angela, you know, the next time that we are in this area, we should go check this place out." One day we came here just to walk through, see if there's any other plants that we always need to buy. And we met the owner's niece, who asked me if I was a plant enthusiast because she heard us talking about plants and could tell that we knew a few things about plants. From there, she invited me to come back for an interview a couple days later, where I met the owner, Mark, and he offered me a couple days a week. Within about 2 weeks, I was working here full time. From then, now I help him run the nursery and help him manage the staff, do product ordering, all those things. Through my journey of working here, nature has really helped me reconnect and reground myself, and getting to interact with customers and sharing that experience, teaching them about how they're going to be able to see a hummingbird at their house and the excitement that that brings. The feeling that you feel when you walk into a well-designed garden and you're just taken aback. You have to stop, and there's so many things to look at, but it pulls you through it. The other thing that I feel that nature has really helped me with is about 1.5 years ago, my dad passed away completely unexpected. He was 53, and through that, the grieving process is not always fun, and there's a lot of things that words can't express. So there were many days that it would just be gardening and trying to work through the emotions and feelings that happen with that. And he was a jack of all trades, so he always taught me to be coachable and to be able to do anything. And I'm able to reuse those experiences here every day, where we get to create new things and being welcoming and loving to all. Upon starting here, I realized that plants show you every day that they want to live. You could have a plant that falls out of a pot and all of a sudden roots and is growing up a tree. You chop it completely from the pot and the plant still grows, and it grows back, and it helps, remind us all that those cycles of life really happen. My future is within the plant industry, doing design for people, getting to show people how they can incorporate those daily things in their own yard. I just did a design for a lady who calls her backyard, and she had a little white flowering tree. She calls it her church tree. So when we were designing that garden, I wanted to make sure that when she goes out there in the morning, and if she's sitting under that tree, she feels that church feeling, that spiritual feeling, that connection. And that's the fuel that drives me every day, to help people feel that way, to walk into their house and to feel the plants around them and feel excited by nature. People who don't care about nature become excited. They're sending me pictures of flowers because they've just realized that they now have seen 3 hummingbirds when they've lived here for 20 years and never seen a hummingbird. There's a lot of times where I'll be working with the customer, and as we're going through the experience, it allows them to feel almost safe and at home. And a lot of people will open up to us and share with us that they're experiencing a loss or they're going through a hard time in their life, and this has really helped them to walk around. And maybe we're just talking about a hedge in their yard, but as we're walking we see butterflies, or we get to tell them this fun story about this little turtle that's been coming up to visit us, and it just helps people remember and see that we're all together in this, that nature is the pinnacle and the centerpiece of us as humans. I'm Sabrina, and my love for plants comes from the healing power of being able to connect all living things together with nature.